I want to go over the Alien Energy Act of 1798. We have to go back.
Bye-bye. There they go again, in a pattern we've been seeing at all of these Trump rallies. People leaving in the middle of the speech because Donald Trump is intolerable. Just take a look at the graphic right here. You see the crowd somewhat full. It's a small crowd, but somewhat full at 6:28. Take a look at 6:52 as Donald Trump continued to ramble. People were fed up and they just walked out. You saw in that first video there as well. Because what are the things that Donald Trump what's he talking about in State College, Pennsylvania, as he's speaking to voters in this important swing state? Well, he talks about how much he loves Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here, I'll play the clip.
And a woman very respected in Washington and everywhere she goes, frankly. She's on the strong side. I want to say strong. She's a strong person, got a strong personality, but isn't that a good thing? We need some of that. But she's a very, very special person, and she's really a very good person, too. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
He also talks about how he's not going to pay the staff of the venue and brags they ain't getting money, he says. Here, play this clip.
So first of all, the sound up there is lousy. So here's what happens. I tell my people immediately, don't pay the bill for the guy that did that, okay? And then they get a story, Trump doesn't want to pay the bill. No, you know, when people do a lousy job, they did a lousy job with the sound. But the good news is you understand it.
Then he also talks about his hair and how he's not sure if he likes how he looks today. Here, play this clip.
I'm just looking at my hair. I don't like it. I should have been looking a little left. No, I started looking at my hair. I said, am I allowed to go back and recomb it? No.
Yeah, this is his message, his closing message to the people of Pennsylvania. What is he going to do for them or for America? It's just this stuff. The rantings and ravings of a madman. Here, he continues to refer to Anderson Cooper from CNN as Allison Cooper because this is Donald Trump's way of making fun of Anderson Cooper because Anderson Cooper's gay. And I guess that just gets normalized now. We're supposed to just normalize that despicable homophobia that we wouldn't tolerate in children. But that's what we're supposed to do. Not here on the MeidasTouch network. Here, play this clip.
You saw her on the town hall the other night with Allison Cooper. Did you see? This is Allison Cooper of CNN. No, Allison interviewed her. She couldn't answer a question. She was terrible. We can't have that running our country.
By the way, did you notice what they're advertising while Donald Trump is speaking? Just pull up a still image if we can, asking our producers right here. You see this? They're selling the pillows of the pillow guy, Mike Lindell. But you notice what they're selling it for? $14.88. Do you see that right there? Do you know what that $14.88 means? Well, if you take a look at the Anti-Defamation League, $14.88 means Hail Hitler. Okay, that's what they mean when they put 1488 and why they chose that numbers. 1488 is a combination of two popular white supremacist numeric symbols. This is very big in the white supremacist kind of 4chan community. It's how they signal to each other. The first symbol is 14, which is shorthand for the 14 words slogan, "We must secure the existence of our people and future for white children." The second is 88, which stands for Heil Hitler, H being the 8th letter of the alphabet. Together, the numbers form a general endorsement of white supremacy and Adolf Hitler. So they are used very frequently in the white supremacist movement, and that's what gets displayed. That's why they use 1488 there. And then they'll gaslight you and go, "Oh, that's not why. We just picked $14.88 for random." But no, they are signaling to their people violence, extremism, and hate. That's what they're doing right there. And their people know that message is being sent. I just wanted to call that out for you. Then Donald Trump lies and says that Vice President Kamala Harris supports operations where people show up to their schools or kids show up and then they become a different gender without their parents' consent. Again, entirely false. The same way Donald Trump lies that Haitians and immigrants are eating cats and dogs. The same way Donald Trump lies that FEMA is not providing aid to people in disaster relief zones, causing Trump supporters not to actually apply for the FEMA aid they're entitled to. Just constant barrage of lies that are then spewed by media networks as well. But we call them out here on the MeidasTouch Network. Play this clip.
She thinks operations are wonderful. To transition a man to a woman is a wonderful thing. And without parental consent yet, this is a wonderful thing. Now, if she believed that even for a day, you don't want to have her because it's in there somewhere deep inside, right?
Then Donald Trump, speaking of lies, he says tariffs are not taxes on you. They're taxes on other countries. Play the clip.
Tariffs, taxes, not on you, by the way. The taxes are on you. Taxes are on other countries that have been ripping us off for years.
Quite literally, a tariff is not a tax on the other country. It's not what a tariff is. Why not just call it a tax on the other country if that's what you're saying? A tariff is a tax on the imports here in the United States, to try to disincentivize people from importing foreign goods. That's the purpose of it. So if you do tariffs here and try to block foreign goods, then they do retaliatory tariffs in the other countries. And then the companies here pass through, we'll talk about inflationary, they pass through the costs to the consumer, which raises the price. So if you're talking about 2,000, 5,000% tariffs, those are 2,000, 5,000% taxes that will be paid by the consumer when the American company importing passes that cost along. Again, more lies from Donald Trump. He's very upset that Beyonce and Vice President Kamala Harris filled a stadium in Houston, Texas. So he goes, people were booing and they didn't like it and they couldn't fill the stadium. There was about 30,000 people there. More people attended that than any Trump event so far this election cycle. Here, but play the clip.
This crowd is packed. I could sell it out 3 times. You got to see outside. And we don't have Beyonce, who couldn't fill the arena last night. But the people went there because they thought they were going to hear Beyonce sing, right? Beyonce got out and said, hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to endorse her. What's her name? What's her name? What is her name again? Oh, I'm going to endorse her. They just don't get it. So what happened is the crowd came because they thought she was going to sing. Then she turned around, she left, and Kamala started speaking, and it was a disaster. They all left, everybody left. We don't need anybody. Because
judge for yourself. Here were people at the Harris rally. You could just see it for yourself. Let's play that clip. Back to Donald Trump calling America the garbage can of the world. That's one of his closing messages, that we are a trash can, we are garbage, and America sucks. That's Donald Trump's closing message, which I always say, how dare you say that about the United States of America? But here he is saying it in his own words. Play this clip.
But I use this term. I always said we're the dumping ground for the world. Yesterday I said, we're the garbage can for the world. We're a garbage can. We're like a garbage can, and they dump their criminals, their people with tremendous mental problems from insane asylums, from mental institutions. They're drug dealers. They're gang members.
Contrast that message to Vice President Kamala Harris in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Here she talks about how we're going to win, meaning joy, democracy, the people. Play the clip.
Make no mistake, we will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We will. Yes, we will.
Here, Vice President Kamala Harris talks about the yearning in our country for a president who's trying to help, not hurt. Play the clip.
So listen, we have to understand the opportunity we have before us to turn the page on the fear and the divisiveness that have characterized our politics for a decade because of Donald Trump. We have an opportunity to turn the page and chart a new and joyful way, dare I say joyful, way forward. Where we tap into the ambition and the aspirations and the dreams of the American people. And I'm going to tell you, as I travel around our country, there is an overwhelming call for a fresh start. For a new generation of leadership that is optimistic and excited about what we can do together. There is a yearning in our country for a president who sees the people, not just looking in the mirror all the time, but sees the people, who gets you and who will fight for you. That is what this election is about.
And here's Vice President Kamala Harris in Kalamazoo talking about Donald Trump saying that everybody wanted Roe v. Wade to be overturned. That's what Donald Trump's message is. He goes, everybody wanted Roe v. Wade overturned. Play this clip.
The suffering. And you know, Donald Trump still refuses to even acknowledge the pain and suffering he has caused. He insists that, and I'm going to quote, everybody wanted Roe v. Wade to be overturned. Come on, everybody wanted this? Women are being denied care during miscarriages? Some only being treated once they developed sepsis? They didn't want this. Couples just trying to grow their family who have been cut off from IVF treatments? They didn't want this. The men of America seeing their daughters, wives, sisters, and mothers put at risk because their rights have been stripped away? The men of America don't want this. Women have died because of these bans. How could anybody say that they wanted this? And you have heard me say, I do believe Donald Trump to be an unserious man. But the consequences of him ever being president again are brutally serious. Brutally serious. And what I mentioned are just some of the consequences of what he has done. And I will tell you, I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. Proudly.
Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign put out this video. They called it Train Wreck. Play the clip.
I lost by I didn't lose, but they say I lost, Joe, they say I lost by 22,000 votes. We could go into this stuff. We could go into the ballots or we could go into the overall. I'll give you another one.
Are you going to present this ever? Do you think like?
Let me just give you one more before. That's your kind of
Your
person.
weave is getting wide. We're getting wide with this weave.
But isn't it
I want
much
to bring
better?
it back to tariffs.
But wait one second before we finish with tariffs.
What could you do now?
I do not want to tell you, for the purpose of looking smart to five people that, that say, oh, he was great. You know what it is? I want to be a whale psychiatrist. It drives the whales frickin' crazy.
And speaking of train wreck, Jake Tapper had J.D. Vance on his program. And here's what J.D. Vance said. J.D. Vance said that all of Trump's top former advisors, from Mike Pence to John Kelly, all very conservative people, real conservatives, that they are now speaking bad about Donald Trump because they're trying to get America into war. So that is why they're speaking out and lying about Donald Trump, is what J.D. Vance says, as opposed to they're conservatives and they saw that Donald Trump's, one, not a real conservative, and two, wants to be a dictator in the image of Kim Jong-un and Hitler, and they saw it and they're trying to call it out to warn us about what he's going to do. Play J.D. Vance.
So all those 10 people, including the former vice president, Mike Pence, all of these people have this horribly damaged worldview, and they're all just going after Donald Trump because they want to send people into war? That's really your argument?
Absolutely.
It's not like these are conservative.
Absolutely, that's my
These
argument.
are not conservative
Jake,
Republicans. These aren't conservative Republicans who are concerned about Donald Trump. They're not. That's not right.
All of these people, Jake, they came into office thinking that they could control Donald Trump. That when he said he wanted peace in the world,
Mike Pence thought he could control Donald Trump.
Yes, he did. And when he found out that when he found out that he couldn't, they all turned on Donald Trump.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers together. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.